Hi everyone, Gunpla here. Thank you for joining me today for another how-to video. And today I'm gonna show you how to remove a seam line using a Madworks black CA glue. Hey, before I start, I would like to thank Masamune Studio for sponsoring this video, and more about them later. So I'm gonna open the package and show you the Madworks black CA instant glue. So from the package, you can get the glue, which is 10 grams. And you can see a nozzle. I think this is for a precision application. So you get the silica gel. You get 3 nozzle for a precision application. There you go. But for today, we're gonna use it to remove a seam line. So we're gonna apply a generous amount of CA glue on both sides. So I'm just gonna pour some CA glue here. For the CA glue, you could get 2 colors. So you could get the black one and then you can get the clear one. I'm using the black one because I could see on where it's getting applied, and then it's good for removing seam lines because you could see if the seam lines is really sealed. So for today, the applicator that I'm gonna use is just a regular toothpick. You could buy your glue applicator from your online store, or in my case, I could get it from Masamune Studio. So I'm just gonna put a generous amount of glue on both sides. So the curing time for this one is 3 to 5 minutes. So I have enough time to put the glue on both sides. So the viscosity of this glue is a little viscous than your general CA glue. The advantage of using this compared to the plastic cement is that this glue cures a little quicker than the plastic cement. And then the theory behind it is that it doesn't melt plastic, but the glue itself or the CA hardens like plastic, and then you could treat it as an ordinary plastic afterwards. So you could sand it, you could cut it. So I recommend using gloves. I didn't use gloves, so it's a little messy. So as you can see, when you press it and you put a little pressure in it, the CA will ooze out, and that's the thing that's gonna close the gap. So I'm just gonna leave it like this and put a little more pressure in order to help it seal the gap. But it's gonna dry quickly, so you just need to wait up to 5 minutes in order to fully cure the glue. So once everything is cured, you can see it's a little bumpy because of the glue that oozed out. And just one thing, you can use this technique if you're planning to paint your model kit, because afterwards the black line will show, and you cannot remove that unless you're painting your kit. And if you want to see another technique using the plastic cement, you could watch the video that I made here. That technique you could use when you just want to remove the seam line, because that will retain the color of your joint and seams. So there are ways on how to remove the bumps. You could sand it, you could use a hobby knife and just run it over the seam and remove the excess glue. So you can just scrape it like this. Just to remove some extra glue that hardened. And it will help you sand it a little faster because there's not much material in it to remove. So we're gonna start sanding it using a 600 grit sandpaper. So I use 600 and not a lower grit because I think a little lower than 600 will give you a sanding mark. that's a little deeper, or it's too deep for you to remove. And then once you remove most of the excess glue, we're gonna move up with our grit. So we're gonna use 800 now. So this is just to remove those smaller sanding marks in preparation for primer. And then after that, we're gonna use a 1000 grit sandpaper just to further smooth out the sanding marks. So the good thing about this method is that you're not just removing the seam line, but sometimes you could remove the bigger dents that you have on your parts. Or if you gouge some knob marks, you could actually use this to remove those imperfections. You don't need to buff the parts after you sanded it down, because this is just a preparation before you prime the part. So I'm gonna show you how it looks like after being primed. So let's do a quick comparison of the before and after. As you can see, this is the before. You can see the seam line in the middle, and this is the after, right after I primed it. As you can see, the CA instant glue works really well covering the seam lines. And if you're wondering where to get this glue, you can visit our sponsor. You could go to their website and visit msmnstudio.com. You can check their wide selection of tools and building materials, as well as their model kits, paints, and many more. If you find this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe, as it helps the channel a lot. And please share it to your friends, especially your friends that are new to the hobby. And again, keep building, and thank you for watching.